Hey guys, tonight we're diving into one of the most profound and misunderstood paradoxes of human existence, the pursuit of happiness. We live in a world that is obsessed with it. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with messages promising a shortcut to bliss. Buy this car, and you'll be happy. Get this promotion, and you'll be content. Find the perfect partner, and you'll be complete. Our social media feeds are curated museums of joy, showcasing smiling faces on sun-drenched beaches and perfect-looking families laughing in pristine homes. We're told that happiness is the ultimate goal, the pinnacle of a life well lived. But what if this relentless chase is the very thing making us miserable? What if the constant pressure to feel good is actually creating a deep, underlying current of anxiety and dissatisfaction? Tonight, we explore an ancient idea that turns our modern obsession on its head, the Buddhist teaching that the more desperately we seek happiness, the more it eludes us, and the more we inadvertently create our own suffering. This isn't about pessimism, it's about a radical path to genuine, lasting peace. This constant pursuit has a name in modern psychology, the hedonic treadmill. It's a powerful metaphor that perfectly captures the futility of our chase. Imagine you're on a treadmill. You believe that if you just run a little faster, you'll reach the front, you'll arrive at your destination. So you push yourself. You get that raise you've been working for. For a moment, a day, maybe even a week, you feel a surge of euphoria. You've made it. The view is great from here. But then, almost imperceptibly, the feeling fades. The treadmill speed automatically increases to match your new pace. That raise is now just your new salary. The novelty wears off. Your baseline of expectation has shifted, and you're right back where you started, jogging in place, feeling a familiar sense of needing more. The next goal appears on the horizon, a bigger house, a more prestigious title, a more exotic vacation. And so, the chase begins again. Each one provides only a temporary hit, a fleeting high, before we return to our baseline level of happiness, or perhaps even a little lower, now burdened by the new pressures that come with our achievements. This isn't a personal failing, it's a feature of our human wiring. Our brains are designed for survival, not for constant bliss. They're novelty detection machines. A new, positive experience triggers a release of dopamine, but the brain quickly habituates. What was once exciting becomes the new normal. The tragedy of the hedonic treadmill isn't just that it's endless, it's that it's fueled by a fundamental misunderstanding. We treat happiness as an external object, a destination on a map that we can reach if we just follow the right directions and travel fast enough. We think it's a thing to be acquired, like a new phone or a piece of furniture. We talk about finding happiness or achieving it. This language reveals our core assumption, that it is somewhere out there, separate from us. The result is a culture of deep-seated anxiety. We develop a fear of missing out not just on events, but on the prescribed emotion of happiness itself. When we experience sadness, boredom, or frustration, which are all normal, inevitable parts of a full human life, we feel like something has gone wrong. We see ourselves as failing at the most important project, the project of being happy. This creates a painful secondary layer of suffering. We're not just sad. We're anxious about being sad. We're not just bored. We're frustrated about being bored. We frantically search for a distraction, a quick fix, another goal to chase to numb the discomfort of a normal human emotion. We scroll through our phones, comparing our messy, complicated inner world with the flawless, filtered highlight reels of others, deepening the sense of our own inadequacy. We've created a trap. By making happiness the sole condition for a successful life, we have condemned ourselves to feel like failures for a significant portion of our time on Earth. We are so busy chasing the high of the next peak that we fail to see the quiet beauty of the valley. We are so afraid of the rain that we can't appreciate the way it nourishes the ground beneath our feet. This frantic, desperate grasping for a state of permanent, uninterrupted joy is, in itself, a profound form of stress. This constant striving, this feeling of never quite arriving, this low-grade, persistent dissatisfaction with the present moment because it isn't the imagined, perfect future, this has a name. It's an ancient and powerful diagnosis of the human condition, and understanding it is the first real step out of the trap. In the Buddhist tradition, this pervasive feeling of friction, this subtle, yet persistent dissatisfaction, is known by the Pali word dukkha. This is the core of the Buddha's first noble truth. There is dukkha. Now, this is perhaps one of the most misunderstood teachings in all of Eastern philosophy. It is often translated simply as suffering, and for many Western ears, this sounds incredibly pessimistic, almost nihilistic. It paints a picture of a grim worldview that declares life to be nothing but pain and misery. But this translation misses the profound subtlety of the concept. To understand dukkha is to hold a key that unlocks the entire mechanism of the happiness trap. Thinking of dukkha only as suffering is like describing the ocean only by its tsunamis. It ignores the constant motion, the tides, the currents, the endless rising and falling of waves that define its true nature. Dukkha certainly includes the big, obvious forms of suffering, the pain of sickness, the grief of loss, the despair of old age and death. No one denies these realities. But its true genius lies in its description of a much more common, everyday experience. It is the background hum of unsatisfactoriness. It's that feeling of, is this it? After you achieve a long-sought-after goal. It's the low-grade anxiety you feel when things are going too well, a quiet fear that it won't last. It's the irritation of being stuck in traffic when you're in a hurry. It's the subtle tension of wanting a pleasant moment with a loved one to last forever, knowing that it can't. It is the friction between our desires and reality. We want permanence in a world that is defined by impermanence. We want security in a universe of constant flux. We want to hold on to pleasure, which is by its nature fleeting, and we want to push away pain, which is an inevitable part of life. This gap, this resistance to the way things are, is dukkha. So when the Buddha declared, there is dukkha, he was not being a pessimist. He was being a master diagnostician. Imagine going to a doctor after months of feeling unwell, with a collection of strange, seemingly unrelated symptoms. You feel tired, a little on edge, and just not quite yourself. Then, the doctor, after a thorough examination, looks at you and says, I know what this is. I have a name for it. That moment is not one of despair. It is a moment of profound relief. Finally, someone sees it. Someone understands. It's not just in your head. It's a recognizable condition. Naming the problem is the first, essential step toward healing it. The declaration there is dukkha is that moment of diagnosis for the human condition. The Buddha is saying, that subtle feeling of being unfulfilled, that hedonic treadmill you're stuck on, that anxiety you feel chasing happiness, that is real. It has a source. It is a shared condition. And because we can diagnose it, we can treat it. The diagnosis, however, is only the first part. The second noble truth immediately follows, identifying the cause of this dukkha. The cause, the Buddha said, is Tanha, another Pali word, which translates to thirst, craving, or desire. This is the engine of the hedonic treadmill. It is the desperate, unquenchable thirst that drives us to constantly seek more from the world outside ourselves. This thirst isn't just one thing. It manifests in three primary ways. The first is the most obvious, the craving for sense pleasures. This is the thirst for delicious food, beautiful sights, pleasant sounds, captivating entertainment, the endless pursuit of things that feel good. It's the belief that if we can just surround ourselves with enough pleasant experiences, the background hum of dukkha will finally be silenced. The second form of thirst is more subtle but even more powerful, the craving for existence, for becoming. This is the deep, ego-driven desire to be someone, to have a solid, lasting identity. It's the craving for fame, for reputation, for status. It's the need to be seen as smart, or successful, or virtuous. It's the thirst to build a legacy, to leave a mark, to feel that our personal story is significant and permanent. We cling to our identities, our beliefs, and our achievements as if they were solid ground, terrified of the reality that they, too, are impermanent and constructed. This craving fuels our ambition, but it also fuels our anxiety, our fear of failure, and our envy of others. The third form of thirst is the craving for non-existence. This sounds esoteric, but it's an experience we have every single day. It is the desperate desire to get rid of what is unpleasant. It's the aversion to pain, the pushing away of sadness, the refusal to feel boredom or discomfort. When we feel anxious, the thirst for non-existence of that anxiety arises, and we immediately reach for our phone to distract ourselves. When we feel grief, this thirst makes us want to numb the pain. It's the get it away from me reflex. This is the source of that secondary layer of suffering we talked about earlier. We don't just feel pain. We feel a violent craving for the pain not to be there. And this resistance, this internal battle against our own experience, creates immense tension and suffering. We are thirsty for reality to be other than it is. This is the very core of the paradox, our frantic effort to escape the dukkha of unpleasant feelings, driven by Tanha, only creates more dukkha. By acknowledging this process, we begin to see the trap not as an external prison, but as an internal mechanism. It's a pattern of craving and aversion that we continuously and unconsciously perpetuate. The first step to freedom, then, is not to quench the thirst by getting what you want, but to simply see the thirst for what it is.